I think, and similarly with the kind of employability stuff, we've had some very positive feedback from students. Although the kind of project was targeted at third years and at this sort of notion of, can you embed placements either within the curriculum or alongside the curriculum, and how would that work? I think looking at that made us think much more about thinking about careers into the whole kind of structure of being an English student. So as I say, we've done this kind of first year careers journey thing. We also, as part of the module choice process for third years, which happens when they're in their second year around Easter, we had a module choice fair this year where we put up lots of information along the corridor about the different modules, so the kind of module descriptions, but we got everybody to make them into nice posters, so it looked a really interesting kind of picture, and then we had the sort of details on handouts that people could take away with them. But alongside that, we put up some material about employability, and we identified various kind of key skills or employability skills that they might be developing through the course of their degree, which I think they all know that they're developing, but sometimes it helps to have somebody actually articulate, okay, where are you learning that? How are you learning that? So we badged, we had kind of different employability skills like team working, like communication skills. I've now completely forgotten, because sort of presentation, all those sort of things. And we had a sort of information about what that might mean and what it might help them to do. And then in a different room, we sort of grouped the modules and said, if you want to do if you want to develop your presentation skills, these are the modules which you might do. If you want to develop your independent research skills, these are the modules that have got a kind of project element, you could do this. And we also put up some information around careers and what kind of modules might help in particular areas, and we had some information from the careers service in there too. And then we had little talks from third years and from MA students about how they'd chosen their modules and advice for people choosing theirs, and sort of how to be a good third year. And we didn't know whether anybody would come at all, because it was the first time we'd done it, and it felt like quite a lot of work for everybody to do. But I was sitting in my room here at about 1:30 and we were starting at 2, and this noise started happening in the corridor, and I was thinking, what's that? Anyway, about 100 people turned up and it was packed in there. It was brilliant. There was lots of energy, lots of people looking at stuff and just being really engaged by the process. And that just felt like a really positive thing, that we were trying to give them some help and they could see that we were, and it was some use to them. So that was fantastic. So we'll do that again next year. That was a good moment.